Destiny 2 has some incredible little details and Easter eggs found on many of the weapons and armor throughout the game. Like, did you know that the little fox on the two-tailed fox gets angry whenever you aim at an enemy? This also works with each different version of the ornaments. Better Devil style hand cannons actually have a little indicator on the left side showing how much ammo is left. It will start to blink red whenever you need to think about your next reload. Last city weapons like the Nightshade Pulse Rifle also have this indicator on the left hand side. If you watch the Dead Man's Tale in slow motion, you can actually see it loading 2 bullets at the same time just like it shows on screen. And the bull logo on the left hand side will start to glow as soon as you get your 5th stack of Cranial Spike. That's just another reason to land those headshots. On the left hand side of Heir Apparent, you can see which class most recently won the Guardian Games event. It was originally won by Titans, then by Hunters, and now by Warlocks. This one's just kind of a funny one. The Guardian activates the catalyst on the Cerberus +1 by smacking it really hard on the left side. It might not be the most useful catalyst in the Crucible, but it's definitely a fun one to turn on and off. The sword held by the statue on the Wish Ender actually lights up in blue whenever you do a full draw. You can see this both while you're aiming down sights as well as when you're hip firing. If you have the Heated Exchange ornament for the last word, you can see the gun start to glow as you fire bullets. The more you fire, the brighter it will get. The little circle on the aim down sight reticle on Forensic Nightmare rotates clockwise just like a clock. It starts somewhere around 3 o'clock and then rotates around depending on how much ammo you have. When you get a kill with the Cryosthesia sidearm, you can activate the alternate fire mode to freeze your enemies. When you activate this mode, it makes a really cool little animation with the thing spinning on the back of the gun, and you can also hear the loud sound from almost across the map in the Crucible. If you hear this thing ticking away, it's definitely time to get out of there. On any hand cannon in Destiny 2, if you use the controller, you can watch the hammer pull just slightly back. It won't actually fire a bullet until you pull the trigger hard enough to shoot the gun. The Ikelos SMG has a really cool reticle when you're aiming down sights. If you look at the blue bars on the left and right side, these actually turn red as you fire off bullets. When it turns full red, it's time for a reload. This one's just a cool little animation detail. When you look at Duality in hipfire mode, you can see the little spikes on the left and right sides of the gun. When you go to aim down sights though, these spikes actually fold into the gun to hide them. I love these cool little animations that show the attention to detail of the Destiny weapons. The Bad Juju Exotic Pulse Rifle makes some really cool bone-crushing sounds whenever you either swap to the gun or reload it. Many Amalon weapons have a little viewing window on the left side of the gun where you can see how much ammo is remaining. It starts off with a full tank, and then as you run out of bullets, the liquid level will drop. The flavor text on the Palindrome hand cannon reads the same way backwards and forwards, just like, well, a palindrome. With the Exotic Sniper Izanagi's Burden, you can load extra shots into one bullet to make it more powerful. But did you know, when you aim down sights, you can see a sword that shows you how many stacks of honed edge you have, and it'll get brighter depending on how many bullets you loaded in. Whenever you're ready to unleash a heavy attack with the Harsh Shadow Exotic Sword, the hilt actually lights up with the little flames letting you know that you're ready to swing. One way to know which elemental type you're on with the Dead Messenger Exotic Grenade Launcher is just to look at the UI. However, did you know you can actually figure this out just by looking at the gun directly? The lights on the left hand side will indicate which elemental type you're on. It will glow orange for Solar, purple for Void, or blue for Arc. Did you know that the Drifter is definitely an enemy? Well, maybe you didn't, but if you use a scope that highlights enemies and you point it at him during a pre-game match of Gambit, you can see that he clearly is a threat. I wouldn't trust him. Next up, we have a few really cool reloading animations in Destiny. First up is Cade 6's favorite hand cannon, the Ace of Spades. When you go to reload, it does this really cool twirling animation, and if you get a headshot before you reload, it'll reload even faster thanks to the perk Outlaw. The Chaperone may seem like an ordinary slug shotgun at the surface, but when you finish a reload, it makes this really satisfying whipping sound. And perhaps my favorite of the bunch is the Huckleberry. When you're finished reloading, it does this really awesome spin of the cylinder. It's one of my favorite animations in all of Destiny. I bet this next one is one of the least well-known ones on the entire list. When you go to reload the Dire Promise, if you stop halfway through and look really closely, you can see a skull with a tally marker next to it. I guess this is how the Guardian's tracking how many kills they have. The Jotun Exotic Fusion Rifle has a really cool looking charge-up animation with one of the ornaments. But did you know that this toaster can actually toast bread? That's right, Bungie turned this fusion rifle into an actual toaster that you can buy. Did you know the mighty Gjallarhorn rocket launcher actually makes a wolf howling sound whenever you shoot rockets? You can only hear it when you have the Pack Hunter buff active, and also if you have a legendary rocket you can hear the same sound. The Staccato 46 Scout Rifle has two really cool ways to show how much ammo is left in the magazine. You might have already noticed the holographic text on the left hand side of the gun showing how much ammo is left, but you can also see the same information when you aim down sights and look at the holographic counter. This one's kind of a cool one. If you take a really high zoom sniper and look deep into the barrel of the Deathbringer rocket launcher, you can see this little red thing. Oh wait, that's a subscribe button, maybe you should click it. Without a doubt, one of the most interesting looking weapons in the entire game, the Graviton Lance, has a really cool sound effect when you fire it. As you go from the top of the magazine down to the bottom, you can actually hear the pitch increasing. One of the throwback weapons from Destiny 1 has a really cool effect when you fire it. On top of the amazing SIVA effects that the Outbreak Perfected makes when you shoot it, you can also see the red lines lighting up. However, did you know if you equip the Matter Scourge ornament, it now has white lines that light up? But that's not even the most important thing. When you aim down sights, it converts it from the normal reticle to this really clean red dot sight. I would say this one's bordering on pay to win. There's a few other notable ornaments that have a similar effect, like the Might of Multi-Tool and the Vigilance Wing. You may have already noticed that the Skyburner's Oath has a red ammo counter on the back to show you how much ammo is left in the magazine. But did you know that the white symbols shown are actually the ammo count shown in the Cabal language? Just don't ask me to translate what any of the other symbols mean. The exotic shotgun Legend of Acreus has electricity showing near the barrel to let you know that you have ammo left in the magazine, but as soon as you fire off your last shot, that electricity goes away. Now up to this point, we've talked mostly about weapons, but there's actually a lot of cool armor effects in Destiny as well. On a hunter, when you wear the exotic gloves Athros' Embrace, you can tell whenever you've activated the perk because little stinger things will pop out of the sides of your gloves. You can see this both in first person and in third person. On a Warlock, there's a really cool strobing effect that happens whenever you equip the Bond of Battle Harmony along with the Mantle of Battle Harmony. You can tell whenever the super is activated on a hunter wearing the Celestial Nighthawk helmet because those eyes will start to glow. We did notice that it activated just before the super was ready when we tested it. On a hunter, if you equip the Lightkin Gauntlets along with the Psionic Stalker Cloak, it creates a cool looking glow on the gloves that you don't normally see. Also on a hunter, whenever you use the Oathkeeper gloves, you can see a cool looking glow on the forearms whenever you fully draw a bow. You can see this in both first and third person. And finally, on a Titan wearing the Peregrine Greaves, you can see little blades showing up on their knees whenever they're airborne and ready to shoulder charge. Let's get back into some more weapons. On the Lorentz Driver, you can see how many telemetry patterns you've picked up by looking at the tip of the barrel whenever you pull the weapon out. Also, fun fact, if you die to someone while using this weapon in PvP, you will be relentlessly teabagged. On the Malfeasance, if you look really closely, you can see that your hands actually start to shake whenever you fire the weapon. Hawkman starts to gather stacks of paracausal charge whenever you get a kill or a headshot, and it'll make a little caw sound whenever you're ready to fire that final bullet. The gun also lights up in blue to let you know the perk is ready. Many weapons like the Shayera's Wrath have a really cool holographic scope that shows up but only when you're aiming down sights. As soon as you go back to hipfire mode, you can see it start to disintegrate. On the Osteostriga exotic SMG, if you look closely, you can see the magazine start to disintegrate as you fire bullets. You can also hear an eerie growling sound about halfway through the magazine. When you equip any of the weapons that come from the moon, you can see the little dangly things that hang on the side. Well, if you get close enough to a nightmare, these will actually start to glow red. And in a similar way, whenever you use any of the Iron Banner weapons inside of Iron Banner, you can see them start to glow under certain circumstances. Whenever you activate the alternate fire mode on the Symmetry exotic scout rifle, you can see the barrel start to move forward and open up an area where electricity forms. I really love this animation. When you fire the Sunshot exotic hand cannon, if you slow down the footage and look really closely, you can see that it actually shoots off solar flares when the gun fires. And also, when you fire the gun really fast, you can watch both the barrel and the magazine get really hot. Have you ever noticed the little piece of cheese on the barrel of the Rat King? Also, the gun starts to glow when you activate the Rat Pack by being near other users. Here's another cool armor one for you. With the one-eyed mask on a Titan, you can actually see when the exotic perk is activated because the eye will start to glow. You can see a similar effect on a hunter wearing the Foe Tracer, but only once they deal damage. Did you know the exotic hand cannon Thorn shoots actual thorns as bullets? This one blew me away when I first realized it, and wow, it makes the gun feel so much more powerful. If you're a fan of the Teraba exotic SMG, you probably already know that you can track the progress towards your Ravenous Beast perk by looking at the lights on the left hand side. But did you know you can also track your progress by looking at the 5 little dots that show up when you're aiming down sights? These will start to glow once you either deal or take damage, and once the 5th dot lights up, it is time to shred. With the Lament exotic sword, it sure looks like a chainsaw, and when you start to hold block, you can actually hear the chainsaw motor going. I love these little details that Bungie puts into their game. The Sweet Business exotic auto rifle starts to have its barrel heat up as you fire it, and if you pair it with the Actium War Rig on a Titan, you can fire for quite a long time. By the time you run dry on bullets, this thing's going to be white hot. The exotic sidearm Traveler's Chosen starts to light up whenever you get kills. This corresponds to how many stacks of Gathering Light that you have. But did you know that you can actually see the progress by aiming down sights? Those little triangles on the left and right sides show how many stacks that you have. The exotic sniper rifle Whisper of the Worm also has the perk Whispered Breathing, and when you aim down sights for a while, you can actually hear the gun starting to whisper to you. On the Witherhoard exotic grenade launcher, you can see the lights inside of the barrel start to light up whenever you fire the weapon, and you can also see the blinded ammo disappear when you click the trigger. When you go to reload Xenophage the exotic machine gun, you can actually see Omar the little bug inside. Also, if you equip the Dawning ornament, you can see that Omar gets a cute little hat for the holidays. The last one on our list is probably my favorite out of all of them. The Wave Splitter exotic trace rifle has 3 different power modes, level 1, 2, and 3. You can tell which level you're at just by looking at the back of the oscilloscope. The level of waves you see indicates which level the gun's powered at. This little detail makes the music and science nerd in me so happy. You can see this while you're aiming at sights as well as hip firing. As you watch the gun, you'll see the power levels ramping up and down randomly, but if you happen to walk across an orb, it'll automatically go up to level 3. But the oscilloscope on the back is actually not the only way to tell what level you're at. If you look at the right hand side of the weapon, you can also tell by looking at the 3 power tubes. If you enjoyed this video, it really helps me out if you hit the subscribe button, and also let me know in the comments what kind of video could I make in the future that's similar to this one. Up next, I think you'd really enjoy a video I made about armor and weapon combos in Destiny. It's linked on screen and in the description.